Keats. I'm the curator of the Museum of Classical Archaeology. This is a bust of Odysseus, and as you can see here, quite a bearded individual. This is one of our more recent casts, and you can tell when you look at other casts that we have in our collection in terms of how it's painted, so this hasn't been treated. Unfortunately, missing a bit of the nose, which is one of the most common parts of the cast to be, well, of the actual sculpture to be removed as a result of it falling. But you can see that he's got a very furrowed brow. This is an individual under some distress, under some pressure. We can see the hair blazing out as well. So this is certainly a moment of action that we're seeing here on the face of Odysseus. This is a sample of a scene that's very famous in which Odysseus blinds the Cyclops. So he gets himself caught in a cave with his men, and the only way to escape is to get this Cyclops drunk, and Odysseus warmed up this olive stick, well, it would have been a proper spear, and jabbed it into the eye of the Cyclops, obviously blinding him, causing him a lot of pain. And Odysseus and his men hid and were able to escape underneath the sheep that were in the cave. But this is when Odysseus's character comes out, in the sense that yes, he saved his men and he is a hero, but he had a massive ego. So he couldn't resist as he was sailing away in his ship, shouting to the Cyclops that it was Odysseus that blinded him, which obviously Poseidon, the father of the Cyclops, knew, and then brought the curse on Odysseus. And what's interesting with this is obviously this is a cast, so a copy, replica of an original. This is one of the 7,000 fragments that was found in this natural cave. And so obviously people have been trying to put together since the story behind the why, what happened, what is the picture, what is the broader image that this fragment represents. So we're thinking that it was dated to the 1st century BC, maybe early AD, and this would have been quite an elaborate display. This was about knowing the story. It was about seeing this perhaps in a dramatic backdrop of torches at night and being able to regale your story. What do you understand about this? What do you remember? And what are your adventures? This is very much art for entertainment, and I think that's what's quite different, and that's what's interesting. We're seeing a move from ancient Greece, in which it was very much motivated by religion, by what we're giving to the gods, what's an offering, and then we're seeing here art for art's sake. The material we have here represents quite a small sample of what classical archaeology is. So we have sculpture, we have pottery, anything you can name, but it's of a particular period. So we're talking Greek, Roman, Hellenistic period stuff. It's more of a way to refer to a date, but classical itself is a very valued judgment. The Odyssey is probably one of the greatest works that we have extant from the Western world. But in terms of how it came to us in its original form, most likely it would have been part of this oral tradition. So individuals would know the Odyssey off by heart, which is incredible when you see the actual text. I mean, what appeals to me about Odysseus, and I think would probably appeal to adventurers that have been since him, is his problematic character. He was very human, and I think that's what's interesting about him. He was not a straightforward hero in any way. Somebody that was able to trick everyone around him to try desperately to get home. That was his mission, to try and get home, and I think that's something that we can relate to, certainly in later stories of adventure, is this desperation to survive and get home against all odds, which he did in the end.